Okay, so here we have a problem where we've got a nurse that's going to give 0.25 grams of a medication, and we've got to figure out what it's the milligram equivalent. So our conversion ratio, conversion fraction that we're going to be looking for, we've got to change milligrams, grams, milligrams to grams, something like that. So I've kind of laid it out here just so we can have a map, a plan. If you remember back to your conversion factors, we do know that there is 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So using that in our dimensional analysis equation, we've got to figure out which one to put on top. And that really depends on what our desired answer is. So let's start there. Let's start trying to figure out what our desired answer is. Go back to your question. And this question is asking, what is the equivalent? What is the milligram equivalent? So milligram is going to be our desired answer. So let's go ahead and write that down. If we're looking for milligram, then the setup here says that whatever your desired answer is needs to go on top of that first fraction. Okay, and that will help determine the rest of the setup. So if milligram is desired answer, we need milligram on top. And we're going to use that conversion factor, but we're going to be sure and put that 1,000 milligrams on top of the 1 gram. All right, so that shoved gram down to the bottom, and dimensional analysis says whatever's in the bottom has to go in the top of the next fraction. And they did give us 0.25 grams, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. I do have to pair it with a 1 because it's the given. There's not anything else to pair it with. It's not a conversion. It's not a, you don't get 2 pieces with it. You just get 1 piece with that one. So 0.25 grams over the 1. Now, I think we've got the right setup. We've used all the numbers we can there, but check those units. Okay, we should see that the grams cancel. We have gram in the bottom, gram in the top. So those grams do get to cancel. All we're left with is a milligram, and that is our desired answer. So we should be good to go. You can go ahead and multiply the top. The bottom's all ones, so it doesn't really matter. But that should give us an answer of 250 milligrams. So 0.25 grams is 250 milligrams. Now, on this next problem, it's backwards. Okay, so sliding to the next problem here, we've got a nurse that's going to give 300 milligrams of a medicine, and how many grams is that going to be? So we're still using that same conversion ratio, right? We're still trying to get milligrams, grams, grams to milligrams. So it's using the same conversion, but the setup's going to be different now because our desired answer, we're trying to figure out how many grams this is. So if we're going to start with grams, we got to line this up to where the grams is going to be on the top. Our conversion ratio here, we said 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So we're going to put 1 gram on top of the 1,000 milligrams. So I want to backtrack now and go back to our first example. I want you to notice the setup of this first fraction, and it's all because of that desired answer. Okay, whatever the desired answer is has to go in the top. You can see on this problem, grams on top put that 1,000 milligram at the bottom. But if we go back to that first problem, we were looking for milligram. So we had to put the 1,000 milligrams in the top. Okay, so whatever your desired answer is has to go in the top of that first fraction. And that will set up the rest of the problem for you. Because then you get to flow into the idea that whatever's in the bottom, which in this case is milligrams, needs to go in the top of the next one. Okay, so if we have milligrams at the bottom, we need milligrams at the top. And they did tell us 300 milligrams. So I'm going to go ahead and use that as the given. I'm going to pair it with a 1. Milligrams get to cancel. The only thing we had left was grams, and that is our desired answer. So we're ready to multiply the top, multiply the bottom. Now, in the last one, we didn't multiply the bottom because everything was 1. But here we actually have other numbers. So multiply the top across, we get a 300. Multiply the bottom across, we get 1,000. And then do your division to get the 0.3 grams. Okay. So determining that first factor really depends on what that desired answer is. And I know there's some of you that are skipping that part where you actually write down the desired answer, but I really want you to stick that in there because that helps set up the rest of the problem. Okay. Pay attention to that desired answer because that needs to go on top of their first fraction.